stage. Thank you, my friend. How you guys doing today?
Good.
How you guys doing today? Listen, I want to first thank you thank you for sharing your time with me today. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Croya. I'm very blessed to be here. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. A motivational speaker. Oh, John. I want you to know that I'm not just here to motivate you today. See, I believe that motivation, that true inspiration that leads to lasting change is really something that can only come from within you. So I'm really here today just to kick with you for a little bit. To drop some knowledge on you that you might not hear every day, that you might not see on your Twitter feeds, on your Snapchat, or engaging in your other social media platforms. Now I want to let you know I'm going to keep it very, very real with you here today. I am. And I'm not asking that you believe anything that I say. I'm not asking that you agree with me. All I'm asking is that if I say something here today that can work for you, use it. Is that all right? All right, very good. Raise your hands, please. Who in here has goals and dreams they want to accomplish? Very good. What I want you to do right now is I want you to think about your goals and dreams. I want you to think about why those goals and dreams are important to you. Because as I look around right now, I see a room full of incredibly talented young men and women. I want you to think about your goals and dreams. I want you to envision exactly what it is that you want. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I don't think that those goals and dreams that you possess within your heart were given to you on accident. I don't believe that those goals and dreams you possess within your heart were given to you not to accomplish. I believe that those goals and dreams that you possess so deeply within you were given to you because on some level, you're the one. On some level, you are the only one who's supposed to bring that dream to life. I don't know what your goals and dreams are. I don't know what may be holding you back, but let me tell you what I do know. I do know that you were born a winner. I do know that each and every single person in this room was born with the greatness and capabilities within them to achieve the improbable. I do know that it's possible for you to win. Let's say that together, please. It's possible.
It's possible.
For me to win.
For me to win.
It's possible.
It's possible.
For me.
For me.
To win.
To win.
Very good. Life has a way of making us forget that from time to time. See, we're all students in the game of life. And it's life's responsibility as a teacher to test us, to challenge us, to trip us up, to knock us down, to hit us, to hurt us, to try to dent our armor. It's our responsibilities as a students to take the dents, to learn from every dent that life gives us. That's why you can't spell student without the word dent. It's our responsibility to learn from each test, to learn and grow from each failure, to learn and grow from each heartache, to learn and grow from each challenge that life puts in front of us. And these challenges, these tests, they manifest themselves to us in many different forms. Oftentimes we least expect it. Raise your hands, please, if your life was just on point, going exactly how you wanted it, and all of a sudden something really bad happened. Yeah, it happens to us all. That's life testing. And that's what we're going to discuss here tonight. Some of these tests, some of these challenges that life puts in front of us. It took me a long time to figure out that I'm a student of life. I'm 37 years young, from a town called Alexandria, Virginia. I was born into a rather poor home. I have two amazing, incredibly hardworking parents. I have an awesome older brother, an awesome younger sister. And growing up, we didn't have much. The five of us lived in a small, rundown, bug and roach infested house, which, seemed to fall apart a little bit more year after year. We didn't know any of the finer things in life. I remember one Sunday morning eating cold hot dogs on the deck because we couldn't afford to go to Safeway, the local grocery store, and buy a legitimate breakfast. You know, I remember oftentimes there were swarms of flies right outside our back door because that's where we kept our full garbage bags. You know, I remember occasionally I'd wake up in the middle of the night to a cockroach scampering across my chest. I remember wondering if I would be able to share what I was going through with my friends without them looking at me differently for it. It was embarrassing to me. And this brings us to the first test, the first challenge that we're going to talk about tonight, and that's called acceptance. See, we all want to be accepted by our family, by our friends, by our peers. We all want everyone to like us. We all want everyone to approve of us on some level. I just want to let you know, that's impossible. It can never happen. Growing up, I felt that acceptance was the most important thing in the world. You know, I wanted my peers to accept me, to approve of me, to respect me, to look up to me. I wanted to walk down the hallway, you know, and have all the girls, you know, here comes James. Hey, it's James. That's what I wanted. At times I felt that being accepted was the most important thing in the world to me. And it led me to do things. That mindset led me to do some things that I'm not proud of today. You know, I used to skip class in high school, go out and smoke a joint with the older kids. It's not funny, because I did incredibly horrible in high school. I missed out on incredibly valuable information that would have helped me later on in life. I didn't care. I didn't get it. I didn't want them to look at me differently because I wasn't participating in that. You know, I have a really good friend who is the greatest high school basketball player I'd ever seen. I mean, this kid had ability that it was off the chain. So he would dribble down the court, hit something with AI crossover, drive the lane, throw up a teardrop over a 7-footer. I swear to you, it would touch the heavens, come down and hit nothing but net every time. It was a type of talent that you just wished you had. You know, you'd go watch a game, you're the type of player you couldn't take your eyes off of. You knew his next great play, the next amazing moment was just a possession away. You couldn't take your eyes off. It didn't matter what you were doing. You're sitting in the stands, you got to use the rush shoot, you better hold it. You better wait till that next dead ball, the next time out. Doesn't matter how you do your potty dance. As soon as that dead ball happens, you rush to the bathroom, you rush back because you didn't want to be that guy or girl that missed what he did. It was so much fun watching him play the game of basketball. But unfortunately, he made some bad decisions off the court. He's hanging out with the wrong crowd, looking for acceptance in all the wrong places. And you know, I'll never forget the night that shifted his life forever. It broke my heart. It was at a high school varsity football game, Friday night. Stands are packed, hanging out, teams kicking butt. All of a sudden we see some commotion, so you know, come on. Look over, all kinds of cops are rolling up. Look a little closer, see my buddy. He's hanging out with some people who didn't have the best reputations. Red flags to the administration right there for those of you who like to do things you're not supposed to be doing. Guilty by association. Long story short, my buddy was arrested that night for being under the influence of drugs and alcohol while on school property. My boy was escorted from our high school campus in handcuffs. In front of everybody. Instantly kicked off the varsity basketball team, and not too much longer after that, he was gone from school. He never played organized ball again. I can't help but wonder how different his life would have turned out if that night had never happened. You know, looking back, we had cared less about what our peers thought about us for doing things we knew we shouldn't have been doing, we probably would have seen him playing in the NBA. It's that good. But you know, sometimes it can be hard. It can be hard to go against the grain. It can be hard to stand up for what you believe is right, knowing people may look at you differently for it. It can be hard standing up, doing something you believe is right, if you feel you might be bullied for it. Bullying. There's a heavy word. Raise your hands, please, if you've ever been bullied. Yeah. Being bullied is a very tough thing to go through. And I'm just going to be blunt with you. I have no patience and tolerance for bullies. In my opinion, bullies are incredibly small-minded individuals. Bullies are very insecure. Bullies are very scared people. On some level, I feel that bullies feel the need to hurt others because of the pain they're feeling inside. I have no tolerance for it. They're going through something themselves. That's why they feel the need to try to hurt you, to try to belittle you, to try to pull you down. I want you to look at what I just said there. To try to pull you down. By definition, in order for someone to pull you down, they first must be below you. And I believe that anyone that bullies somebody is well below that person they're bullying, well below the person they're trying to inflict their pain on. And there's one thing I've learned in this life. It's that the opinions of small-minded, insecure, scared bullies do not have to become your reality. The opinions of others do not have to become your reality. Stop letting bullies ruin your life. Stop letting the opinions of others become your reality. You know, I remember like it was yesterday, actually. It's halfway through my freshman year in high school when I learned what real bullying was all about. I'd been hanging out with the older crowd. Some of whom had been kicked out of high school for doing stuff they should have been doing, but they were still the cool guys. I was in a cool group. It's all BS, by the way. Just so you know. But back then, I didn't understand that. One Friday night, a couple of them called me up, "Hey, bro, we're gonna come pick you up, take you to a party." I'm like, cool. Put on my freshest threads, went out to the living room, looking out the window. They roll up, run out, get in the car, bam. We get to the party, we walk in. I'm not there. 5 minutes. And I get told that I've been brought to this party full of upperclassmen so they could initiate. See, since I was a freshman, they felt the need to beat the ever-living heck out of me to see how tough I was. In the blink of an eye, I had a whole house full of upperclassmen trying to give me a swirly. Well, that shit just ain't happening. I was fighting back. I broke the shower. They said, "Okay, this ain't working. Let's go to plan B." They took me upstairs to the living room, took turns holding me down, punching me, kicking me. One guy took off my boots, cranked at me, cracked me in the head. Another guy, this real fat guy, ended up sitting on me, felt he crushed my chest. I could barely breathe. It's not funny. I don't know how long this went on for. It seemed like an eternity, but luckily my buddy Wes showed up. Now, Wes was a junior, he was an upperclassman. And Wes could throw the hands, we all grew up fighting. But Wes was a little quirky. He wouldn't hesitate to throw the hands with you if you crossed him. He walked in, he saw what was going on, and he immediately got me out. You know, I'll never forget riding home in his car that night. He was driving me home. The tears that were flowing down my face. I was crying like never before. Big old fat tears. Someone just turned on the faucet. And it wasn't so much the physical pain I was in. It was much more of the emotional pain that I had just suffered. I mean, I went out that night thinking I was about to have an epic night. And I ended up getting beat down by the same friends who took me to the party because they were looking for acceptance by somebody else. That night I felt so sad. I mean, I didn't even want to go to school the following Monday because I was absolutely humiliated. I had been stabbed in the back by the same friends who took me to the party. That's why I have no patience for bullies. The world doesn't need them. It wasn't until the summer before my junior year in high school that I learned what acceptance, real acceptance, was all about. In July of 1997, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. I was 16 years old. Had no idea what cancer was, nor did I know anything about the incredibly long road which had just been put in front of me. See, the internet, smartphones, they didn't really exist back then. I could just whip out my iPhone, click a couple buttons, get all the information I was looking for. I had no idea what was happening, no idea what was about to happen, and I was scared. I underwent two major operations in about a 4-week span. Sacrificed one of my soldiers in order to save my life. Spent time in the hospital. I had an epidural, and I couldn't feel anything from about here down for close to a week. I lost well over 40 pounds. When I finally got out of the hospital, I still had 38 staples running down my chest into my lower abdomen. I felt incredibly weak, incredibly depressed. I felt lost. And raise your hands, please, if you've ever felt lost in your life. It happens. I didn't know how to deal with what I was going through. I didn't know how to accept it. Rather than accept it, I tried to suppress it. I tried to escape it. And I did that by using drugs. I started smoking more marijuana. Before school, during school, after school, weekends, didn't matter. If I had the chance, I was getting high. Because I found that when I was high, I didn't think about the pain I was going through on the inside so much. But you know what? I quickly learned that no matter how high I got, it always come down. And after a while, the weed, it wasn't enough to suppress my feelings of worthlessness. So guess what? I decided to try a few other drugs. Let me tell you something right now. I don't know if you're using drugs and alcohol, whether you're smoking cigs, or those little hard drive things in the hallway, or vaping outside of your school. Just so you know, we all see them. But I want you to know it's an incredibly dangerous road to go down. Before I knew it, I was taking acid. I was occasionally using PCP. I even tried cocaine to try to suppress my feeling. But at the end of the day, I always came down and landed right where I didn't want to be emotionally. Every time, non-negotiable, no matter what I did. And after a while, this really takes its toll on you. After a while, I started asking myself, is this working? For the first time in my life, I started to think about my future. I looked at the road I was on and realized it was a road that was leading me nowhere fast. For the first time in my life, I started to think about what's next. It started with marijuana, it started with weed, but quickly snowballed into a plethora of other drugs I had no business doing. I started asking myself, is this helping me? Do I feel like a winner at the end of the day doing this to myself? I heard somewhere that in life there are winners, there are losers, and then there are those who are trying to figure out how to win. Raise your hands, please, if you feel you're trying to figure out how to win. I've learned in life that we can't ever really control what happens to us. Life happens to us all. But what we can control are the meanings we place on the things that happen to us. What we can control is how we feel about the things that happen to us. What we can't control is what we do about the things that happen to us. I was looking at my battle with cancer as a weakness. and it was pulling me down. So I started to shift my thinking because I realized the battleground wasn't out here. The battleground was in my mind. So I started to shift my mindset. Started telling myself that I'm a winner. Started looking at my battle with cancer, not as a weakness, but as a strength. And you want to know something? When I started to tell myself that I was a winner, that I was worthy of success, I actually started to believe it. And before you know it, I'm walking tall. Before you know it, I feel good about myself again. Before you knew it, I believed in myself again because I changed the meaning on what was bringing me down. Before you knew it, my self-esteem, my self-worth elevated to a level I had never experienced before. Because I shifted my thinking. I saw a teacher explain self-worth to a class one time, and I want to share that with you right now, but I need a volunteer. Who wants to make a quick $20? Raise your hand.
No.
Me?
Yes. Your hand is up. If not, I'll shoot someone else.
No. 20
You want $20? Get up there. Money always works.
I'll do it for 10.
Yeah.
250.
What's your name?
Sasha.
Sasha James. Pleasure to meet you.
20 for 10.
You'll do it for 10. We're going to negotiate. All right, do me a favor. Make sure that's a real $20 bill and then give it back.
Yeah.
You sure? All right, excellent. Just get over. Trying to steal my $20 already. All right, look. So do you want this $20 bill?
Yeah.
What about now?
Yeah.
Sure. I folded it. Interesting. What about now? It's been folded twice. You still want this thing? You don't like the crisp bills? Doesn't matter. Interesting. All right, hang on. Something's wrong with the $20 bill. Let me see if I can fix this. What about now? This little thing still? It's my gas money. I kind of hope he says no. Right now, you still want this $20? Just crumple it up.
Yep.
You sure? Walking home tonight. Clearly, you still don't want this $20.
I do.
Because why? Why do you want this $20?
Should be Luke.